Hello, people. Welcome to the Fantasy Fair, the What Is It? Oh, that is right. The most magical podcast on earth. Today's show. Joining me, I have Alexis Moreno. What's up, Alexis?
Hello.
How you doing?
Good.
That's good. That's good. Also, we have Alexis J. Soto up here in this corner. Wow, 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 wow.
Hey, everybody. Glad to be here on this episode. It's going to be a lot of stuff. I'm actually happy because this is going to be a good companion to this week's Red Spotlight episode, because I just recorded with David the day before where we talked about some of the stuff that could be announced today, and then also the theatrical experience and how that's been up in the air. And some of those questions have kind of been answered by today's presentation, at least what Disney is doing. So
yeah,
go listen to both podcasts. It's going to be great.
Wait, what's the other podcast
Red
called?
Spotlight Entertainment every Sunday.
And where could we find Red Spotlight
You can
Entertainment?
find Red Spotlight anywhere you listen to podcasts, whether it be Apple, Spotify, Castbox. Maybe not Wooshka any longer. There have been some, discrepancies with them. So, hey, there we are.
We're on castbox.com now. FM, sorry. I fucked that up so bad. So today is no exception. So I was earlier. Let's wind the clocks back a few hours ago.
What is time?
Before my What is time? Time, Morella? Yeah, TARDIS, whatever. So let's wind the clocks back a little bit. So I messaged Alexis Moreno and Alexis Soto. I was like, "Hey, what are you guys doing tonight?" And they were like, "Name a time," because they knew immediately what I wanted and what I was concocting in my brain. And here we are, because earlier today at 1:30 Pacific Standard Time, the Disney investors meeting happened. The presentation and all that good shit happened, and I watched it, all 4 hours of it. Yay. A pretty boring first half, but an action-packed second half, to say the least.
Makes me glad I tune in for only the second half then.
Yeah, I'm like, tell me when that part is happening. So, nothing significant happened in the first half other than the announcement that Disney Plus has 86.8 million subscribers, which, holy shit. So we have that. Now, for those who are wondering what is a Disney's investors presentation, it's pretty much where they put their money where their mouth is and say, "Hey guys, this is what we're doing. This is all the stuff that you could look forward to, and this is why our stock should mean something." And that's pretty much what the Disney investors presentation is. You have the presidents of each division of the company come out and say, "Hey, this is what's going on in this division. This is what's happening in this division, and this is what's happening in this division." So you have all that stuff. For those who already know what that is, sorry, I just bored you to tears, but that's just the way that this thing goes. And there was a bunch of announcements that came out with the said presentation, and here we are. Moreno, I caught up Moreno with what's going on. Alexis, he watched the second half of the presentation as a sane person should. But me being insane and fully dedicated, I watched the first half anyway. Nothing happened. Fuck me. So, let's begin with what was discussed in the second half, because literally nothing happened other than to say Disney Plus is amazing, and that's the only thing that was presented in the first half. So let's talk about the second half. Which division do you guys want to start off with? Do you guys want to start off with Lucasfilm, Marvel, Disney Studios, or Disney Animation?
It's interesting. There's a lot of. I guess we're gonna go through all of the new announcements one by one, and we're gonna talk about how we each felt about it. I made my own list, and I separated into like 4 different categories: stuff that I'm excited about, stuff that I'm intrigued at, stuff that's
that I'm mad at.
stuff that's all right, and shit I don't care about. You want to guess which is the longer list? We'll find out.
I know which one. If you guys been listening to this program, you could damn well know which list is the in the majority.
I remember the last
Alexis
time we
Soto.
did a show like this. I think Alexis wasn't on that show. I don't know what happened.
No.
But it was after D23, and
Yeah.
Kyle had the good sense to invite Peter on that show, and the whole thing became like just a shit fest.
A shit show. Yeah, just like shit
We
on
should have
the
done the
shit.
same.
So I thought no. I thought wise, because otherwise this would have been 2 hours longer than it should have been. So like all you hear was like and that's pretty much all you'll get from Peter's side, plus bitching and moaning for 2 hours. Peter, if you're listening to this, let's face it, he's not going to listen to this. I'm just going to scream into the ether and say, fuck you.
Well, everybody has their say, and everyone has their own opinion or anything. I think we've seen that in all of the shows that we do. In case people are listening to us for the first time, we have very polarized points of view across about everything. There are times, rare as they can be, although less rare in 2020, where we can agree unanimously on certain things. But a lot of us have our own quirks, our own voice, our own interests. And I think you're going to find, as with any other person, that we're going to have our own differences here about what it is that, gets us going, rather. But before we go off on all of the things that were announced, and it is quite a lengthy list, the question I want to start off with, though, is how do we generally feel about how this went? Are we impressed? Are we happy? Are we interested? Do you think it was underwhelming, overwhelming, the overall, number of things that was announced?
As somebody who watched it,
The whole
thing, the whole 9 yards, I have to say that it was between overwhelming and whelming for me. Just because it's like a lot of information to take in. And that's pretty much where I'm like, content wise, it's very whelming. Like, cause like I knew most of the stuff, because like the thing is that for like normies, like, normies that don't really follow the news and all that stuff, I mean, good on you. Good way to keep your mind sane. But for insane people like us who follow this news on a day-to-day basis, it was very whelming because we already knew.
A lot of the stuff had already been announced. It was just kind of some of it. Not even like, I feel like not even half of it, like seeing it for the first time. But I don't know. I am excited for a lot of things. Not too excited about other things. But I'm still kind of, which we have talked about, I think, like the last 2 podcasts that we did, where I still think that they could be doing so much more, and they, for some reason, don't.
It feels like this is only just scratching the surface, and you're right.
Yes.
I think one thing I do want to say, because I do stress where, giving credit where credit is due sometimes. We've criticized Disney Plus all year long for having, next to no content besides, Star Wars, I guess, on their streaming service. And we've been yelling at them basically for what are they doing. But I think the sad reality is, I think we were kind of proven wrong, because Kyle said they just got 86 million subscribers in just 1 year with next to no content. in many
But,
ways,
like,
yeah.
But like, I feel at the same time, people are at home.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah.
Have been home for longer, so that does have a lot to do with it. Which, like, good on them, you know. But I don't know. I just feel like with Disney Plus, they should have had stuff ready.
A lot of the stuff I feel like they announced today, we should have gotten this year already.
Yes, like a lot of the stuff was announced right before Disney Plus was a thing, or like it, like, you know, was available to people. We should have already seen most of this stuff.
And okay, and here's the thing though, like we're talking about like let's talk about the cream of the crop. Let's talk about like the Mandalorian and all that shit. You take a show like the Mandalorian, and like I see like some arguments on Twitter, like, oh, the reason why we haven't gotten this kind of programming yet is because they wanted to test the waters on the Mandalorian first to see if like something like big and gargantuan and all that stuff can in fact take off. The fact that they were so confident that while season 1 was airing, they were filming right away for the Mandalorian season 2, they knew it was going to be a hit. Mm-hmm. So there was no excuse that the other show, because it's IP. They're gonna cut, like, you know, you build it, they will come. You know, you throw a Star Wars label on something, they will come. You throw a Pixar label on something, they will come. You throw, you know, same
all
thing.
All of the Marvel stuff that was air quote announced today, we should have already seen.
Yeah,
at least like the Disney Plus shows, like we should have already seen that. I don't understand why it's taking so long. Like, this was a year to do all of that stuff. I don't know.
Like around Christmas time last year, like, right, like especially coming off the cusp of Endgame, you should have immediately came out with Loki and, you know, the Winter Soldier, you know, and that should have immediately, you know, been taken care of. What else? Like the other ones I get, because like they're still in like development phases. I mean, they're still in the casting phases of some of these projects already. But the thing is that like some of these projects, I have no idea why the delay, when number one, that Loki like finished filming months ago. Not even months ago, a year ago, like, and it's only going to be 6 episodes, right? 6 episodes. Like, how is it that, you know, something like that, when the Mandalorian was able to, season 2 was able to come out within a year? Mandalorian, what?
No, yeah, you're right.
Oh, I thought I fucked up again.
All of those things, look, all of those things are valid. I agree entirely with all of your saying. But we also have to keep in mind the fact that, and I think in large part because there was a pandemic and people stayed home, it really helped Disney Plus's numbers and the subscription area. But 86 million subscribers in 1 year, it is beyond impressive, considering that all they had to bank on was their library, which really shows you that an extensive library filled with brands and intellectual properties gets you a pretty fucking far. And if you look at all of the things that were announced today, Disney has the goods, in which other places like, I mean, I don't think they'll get to a place anytime soon where they'll overshadow Netflix. I think Netflix is the cream of the crop when it comes to original programming, especially television shows. But Netflix doesn't have the brands that Disney has. No one does. HBO Max, for that big and flashy choice they made a few days ago about putting their big movies, they don't got a tenth of the things that Disney has like that.
Yeah. And like, I feel like I'm sounding very negative towards them. It's just like, it's that part I think is just a little bit frustrating. But yeah, like that is.
And also to keep this in mind too, I think what happened was, I think it was a mistake. I think they should have really, you know, come out of the gate with a lot more programming, clearly, especially how this year turned out. But we also have to keep in mind, I mean, I'm not in any mood to defend that cheap bastard Bob Chapek. Oops, did I curse? But
how dare you?
Disney can be frugal. a lot of different areas. Bob Chapek especially is cheap. That's his reputation. That's his last name, basically. But we have to keep in mind, in all fairness... Cheap. Hey, there's something. Chapek, that's a name. We have to keep in mind, though, that with these new streaming services like Disney Plus and HBO Max, especially that one, it'll take several years for them to become profitable. They'll make money off of it, but profitable is the key, and that's going to be years down the line. So there is that, but at the same time, this is only just scratching the surface. And I can just take a look at what was announced today, and a lot of people are
to set precedent for what you said. Disney Plus is raising its price by $1,
which that to me, I was shocked because I was for sure expecting it to be like $12, $13. So for them to be able to keep it that low, or for them to even like keeping it that low in general, like that's kind of insane.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking to myself, look, if they've had a successful year with no programming, think how far they'll get with actual programming in 2021, regardless if it's good or bad. That's what I mean.
Like, again, I don't mean to sound so negative. I just feel like they have the means to, like, do all, like, so many things, and I just don't understand why they haven't.
I think it's that thing, like, all three of us, have been inundated in this industry with all of these like news items and, you know, learning more about film and art and television for 5 years now, to the point where like we feel like we can make better decisions, creative decisions than a lot of these brain dead executives make. Because I'll tell you, I think a lot of the stuff that was on display today is going to end up being a miserable failure. Because a lot of, like, Kyle even asked in the chat earlier when this thing was going on, who asked for this? It's the question you're going to keep thinking with certain shows that were announced, you know?
Certain shows, movies, and whatnot. And that's the thing, though. Like, with like, for example, let's just get some titles out of the way. 3 Men and a Baby. Who asked for that shit? Sister Act 3, again, who asked for this shit? You know, there's gonna be a Mighty Ducks TV, you know, little series.
Yeah, a Mighty Ducks reboot. I forgot to add that to the shit I don't care about list. Thank you.
Yeah, so the Mighty Ducks, that's going to be a thing, you know? And again, one pales the question. Yeah, there is a minority, like a severe minority of those that are like, oh, Mighty Ducks, that's my fucking thing, you know, when freaking...
They're leaning so heavily on, like, the nostalgia thing that they have going for them. But, like, I feel like they're not choosing the right thing.
They're not putting it in the right places. Like, for example, when Moreno, you know this guy, Jeff DePauli of Disney Coast to Coast.
I Shrunk the Kids. Like,
yeah,
are you kidding me?
Where was that announcement?
Are you
that right
kidding
there
me?
has a huge, that right there has a huge cult following.
You know that would be huge because recently he made headlines this year because. You know, really sad story, but he got like mugged or something this year, and everybody was like losing their shit over it.
Rick Moranis?
That would be,
Oh wow, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so that would be like, I just don't understand.
Well, guys, we keep having the same questions. Where's National Treasure 3? Where's that? You know?
Yeah. Which were not announced, but like it that would make fucking headlines. It would
Where's
be like,
the Haunted Mansion movie that's been decades now in development? Where is that? Like, these are the things that your fans have been asking for years and years and years, are the most, and this is where the most interest has been in.
When's the next D23?
2022, I believe.
Yeah, I think next year's not happening. Which is why they did. This is basically D23. I mean, it was a lot of reduxes, but it was basically what that was, you know?
Okay. But that's why I'm like, maybe they're holding out for D23, but that's not happening until like a long time. I don't know. This year has flown by like that, so who knows where we'll be in 2022.
Speaking of things that weren't announced, though, where's Lizzie McGuire?
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean,
the last update. The last
one
update.
thing that was like a headline for Disney Plus.
Hilary Duff did an update a few months ago, which was an encouraging update, but that's the last we heard of it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, where they were like, Disney is letting us be creative with Liz McGuire, but like other than that, like no whispers, no signs of
question. Which I mean, I don't know if you guys still watch it, but I still watch Disney Channel. Do you think that that's going away?
No, it makes too much.
Really?
I don't
think
think
so.
No. There's no reason to think Disney Channel is going away. I think they like. I don't know. Why would you think
it's
that?
Still okay. It's still big in the preteen young children demographic. So
I know
not
in some countries they took it away this year.
They did?
Yeah. Also they.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Disney, Radio Disney is ending.
Yeah, that's kind of
next
huge.
Year. Yeah, dude. Little nostalgic story for me. I used to have like a radio, like where you have to like get your antenna and like fix it a certain way to get certain channels. It was mostly a CD player, but you could also like tune it to like FM and AM. I got my freaking antenna like curled just right so I could get Radio Disney. I listened to that shit back when Radio Disney was cool, and they instead of playing like the latest, I don't know, BTS whatever bullshit, they played actual Disney songs. And I was like, I remember listening to that in its prime. That's where they introduced upcoming artists from the upcoming Disney Channel show Hannah Montana. Here is Miley Cyrus and stuff like that. And so I remember, and Radio Disney will always have a little special place in my heart. Also, it got me interested in radio and just like all that stuff. So those two coincided. It's nice. But anyway, Radio Disney is like disappearing off the face of the earth next year. So I was actually blown away by that, because like that was 25 years on the air. Like that's nothing to sneeze at. That's half a century.
I mean, look, what Bob Chapek, right? That's
Bob
no
Chapek,
coincidence.
yeah.
And then also, and this is not being discussed enough, I feel, but like legendary veteran Imagineer Joe Rohde out of nowhere announced he was retiring.
That's
and
nuts.
Based on what I heard from the Diz and their sources, the decision for him leaving the company was very mutual. So it is not entirely out of the realm of possibility where Bob Chapek gutted the Imagineering department so much that Rohde left, or maybe Rohde was asked to leave altogether.
I heard that I mean, I could be wrong, but that he
juicy
quit
details.
or he retired before they could kick him out.
Isn't that fucking insane? This is
Like,
this is the man who
like
built Animal Kingdom.
He's like King Imagineer right now. At least,
He was
at this time.
He was like the lead. So like where does
He's
the
this decade's like Tony Baxter and shit like that.
Where does that leave Imagineering then without Joe Rohde?
Without aim, without focus.
He was that Imagineering show that premiered with Disney Plus. Like, they did a whole episode on him, basically.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, same.
It's nuts. I mean, things are crazy right now. I feel like, we should have seen this coming, just how this year has panned out for everybody, not just like for this one company, for everybody. So I don't know, like, this shit sucks, but at the same time, we might not know things that they know, so I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah.
One other thing I
Um,
want to add to this discussion, real quick, and it shouldn't take you up too long. In the matter of, I forgot what I was going to say. Fucking, I don't know what distracted me. Oops. Oh.
By the way, speaking of distraction, nice fire display on your TV.
Oh, you like it?
Is the LEDs keeping you warm?
Yeah. Yeah. No, it very much is.
I've been waiting to say that on.
Oh yeah, I just thank you. You just distracted enough time that way I can think back to it. Can we talk
Okay.
real quick about the Star announcement, the Star app coming to Latin American regions? That's going to be the Disney Plus grown-up version of it, and why that's the strategy, and not just going ahead and adding that Fox or mature content on Disney Plus. And
Because here's the thing, Disney is a family brand, and they don't like tying themselves up with adult
But if they're gonna
programming.
do it with us, I feel like that's such a waste of time and money.
Yeah.
Where they're supposed to be saving money, and
it's just a waste of energy. Like, I think, because from what I heard, other people were talking about it, is that they were going to add in the mature content on Disney Plus, but it was only going to be able to be accessed via PIN code. So it wasn't like it was going to be like, oh, any kid can log on to Disney Plus. No, they had to have
that makes sense, and I understand that, and I feel like that could work, you know, because it gives the option of like I understand that they want to keep, like, you know, their brand and all that stuff. Like I truly do understand, but it also just, like, it gives the options to parents if they want to let their kids watch this, because, you know, I've known people who have had I've known people who, like, didn't let their kids watch, like, freaking Ice Age, like, you know what I mean? So, like, I understand that they want to kind of, you know, keep this thing of, like, you know, being with kids, whatever.
Keep it parental guided.
Yeah. So I feel like that.
Which
I feel
Netflix
like that's
has
enough.
that, I feel.
I don't
Like,
know.
isn't that what Netflix has? Netflix Kids or something?
Yeah, they have Netflix Kids.
But they don't have the
they have
pin or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, they could
Oh, I
immediately
don't-
log
yeah,
on to
yeah.
mom or dad's.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the thing is, okay, here's the thing. Like, that would be, like, that automatically puts them above, like, Netflix's regulations. But here's the thing. Like, I get what you're meaning, because, like, when I was a kid, like, I didn't watch my first rated R movie until I was 13, you know? Because, like, my parents were like, hey, you can't watch that stuff, you know? And, like, I was like, okay, all right. Meanwhile, like, you know, I hear people, like, watching their first rated R movie at, like, the age of 6 and all that. I mean, it's just, it depends on the parent, but the fact that that the streaming service has that option to begin with, I think that's a really smart move.
Real
Yeah.
quick, though, someone took a screenshot of the investor webpage today, and it showed that Logan was going to be coming to Disney Plus next year, which is rated R, last I checked. So, like, are they just going to continue to, like, randomly throw in some of those movies throughout the year? Because I think the end
And
goal
Kingsman.
is... And Kingsman, yeah. So I think the end goal is all that stuff is going to be on there in the end. So why wait? Is my frustration with this, you know?
I don't know.
Anyway,
I don't know
Yeah.
either.
that's where we are.
So, let's talk about, like, movies and TV and all that good bullshit, shall we? Where do you guys want to begin? Do you guys want to begin at Lucasfilm, Disney Live Action Studios,
Live action.
Marvel?
Let's go to live
What do you
action.
guys want to start
Live
with?
action, and I think Marvel and Star Wars for the end. There's a lot more on those. There'll be some rants
Okay.
there that we want to wait for the end. So, yeah.
Okay, for live action, I mean, we pretty much talked about them already. There's going to be a movie called Peter and Wendy with Jude Law as Captain Hook, and it's coming straight to Disney Plus. Quick thoughts about that?
How about announce all the live action and then we can go through all of them?
Okay, there's going to be Geppetto, starring Tom Hanks as Pinocchio, starring Tom Hanks as Geppetto with Robert Zemeckis in the director's chair. There's also going to be Cruella, which we already knew about, with Emma Stone as a punk-ish fashion icon starring Emma Stone. That's pretty much it in terms of the big things. Oh, also there's going to be a Beauty and the Beast live action TV show with Josh Gad and Luke Evans coming back as Gaston and LeFou with brand new music from one Mr. Alan Menken. That's it. That's all
Jungle
I wrote. That was
Cruise
anything.
is gonna be on
Jungle
Disney
Cruise is
Plus.
coming back. It is going to be released in 2021. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All of those things you mentioned made my list of shit I don't care about. Easily. I'll plug the, Robert Zemeckis hasn't been good in several years, so that movie is not, I think, the Pinocchio movie, I don't have any expectation for it. Although, a good Pinocchio movie that'll be coming out next year will be by Guillermo del Toro on Netflix, so catch that one. It's going to be...
that's terrifying. I'm already scared.
Yeah, that's going to be beautiful and terrifying, and that's going to be memorable.
Oh my god.
So
I could just... Oh my god.
Yeah, so that's the one we're going to be... At least that's the one I'm looking forward to. Peter Pan and Wendy... Whatever. I don't care. It'll be on there. I'm sure it'll be fine. The one that I think just grosses me out is the Beauty and the Beast prequel series. I can't stand those fucking live action remake movies. I swear to God, I can't. And anything that continues that just makes me want to throw up. I honestly could burn a cross with this. I hate it. I completely hate it.
The ones that I care about are Cruella and the Jungle Cruise.
You think Cruella looks good though? It seems really...
I think the pictures that were released, okay. Aside of the fact that it's like kind of like 60s based, I've always been like, into like fashion and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I love like movies that are based on that. I watch a lot of documentaries based on like fashion designers. So like I have a genuine interest
animals
in that. That's not. Anyways, I'm excited to see where they go with this movie because I have no clue. And from the things that they've released, I don't know. I really like it. And Jungle Cruise, that's like one of the movies I was excited for this year. So
Jungle Cruise is actually that's where I'm intrigued at. So talking about the live action stuff, I mean, there was Hocus Pocus 2 that was announced, and then also finally Enchanted 2, or as it's now called, Disenchanted. So those are
with Amy Adams returning, and they're expected to start filming sometime late.
Yeah,
spring.
that stuff I'm intrigued. Only because there is already built-in interest from the previous installment. And Jungle Cruise, I'm sure it'll be fun. It's Emily Blunt, Dwayne Johnson, and it looks cool. Like it looks like yeah.
Jungle Cruise had me when they announced that that Ludwig whoever is composing the movie is doing a collaboration with the score with Metallica.
Oh my! I forgot about that.
Oh, I guess that tampons the excitement down a little bit. I didn't think that was gonna happen.
I don't
but
feel that way.
Metallica's worked with the symphony.
I just forgot that was the thing that was happening.
But the thing is that Metallica has worked with a symphony before, so like this isn't new ground that they're breaking, but still like the sound together, it sounds great. So I don't know. I think I'm intrigued to hear what they come up with.
I know that they reiterated, they confirmed, I think, officially, that Barry Jenkins, the director of the Best Picture winning Moonlight, is going to be doing The Lion King 2, which is going to be basically a rip-off of The Godfather 2, exploring Mufasa's origin. I mentioned before that I really was disgusted and hated the Beauty and the Beast thing. No, I hate this more, and I want this dead in the water. I think I talked about this with Kyle, right? We both did not like.
But it's Barry Jenkins.
He's doing this that way that Disney can fund his next Searchlight movie. That's the only reason why I think he's even bothering with this trash heap.
It's so funny. This is going to be the second Barry Jenkins project that irks you in some way.
I love Moonlight. It made my top 10 of the year. I remember one of the best memories I have is with Alexis. We both watched Moonlight in I think it was the ArcLight Theater, remember? It was a beautiful movie.
He was like, hey, do you want to go watch this movie?
Yeah.
I'm like, what movie? He's like, Moonlight. I'm like, what is it about? He's like, I don't know.
I don't know, but it's playing so let's go see it. And we both had a great time watching. It was a tremendous movie, and it was worthy of a Best Picture win. If anything, that the moment that you're referring to of La La Land's theft, and let's be clear here. Let's be 100% clear. It was 1,000% a theft, and a crime against humanity. The reason, if there is anything to be mad about, is the fact that you and Peter got such joy off me being perhaps the most humiliated I have ever been. That was a humiliation for the ages. I mean, you can't top that, honestly. You just can't.
I'm sorry. I just remember, oh my god, what's happening? That was fun time.
Yeah.
That was a great night. I loved it. But anyway, that's pretty much it for live action.
Oh, The Little Mermaid? They announced the cast officially of The Little Mermaid.
Jacob Tremblay is playing Flounder. That was the only new thing that
it's
I
a
found
great
out.
cast. I'll tell you what.
It is.
It's a great cast. You have Megan and Miranda, and I have every confidence it'll be crap. I just have no more faith in these movies. I tried again and again, and Mulan disappointed me so much. So the music will be good. I have no doubt in that.
Yeah.
Daveed Diggs doing Under the Sea.
performance is
I
good.
think that the music is gonna be amazing.
You know what?
Like,
I don't think the movie will be good overall, but you know what? I think the performances may be the best yet in these live action remakes. So
yes,
because of the casting.
I agree.
And
so yesterday, out of just for shits and giggles, I saw the holiday sing-along thing that they did. And what did Chloe and
Halle, yeah,
they did one of the songs.
Really?
I've heard their music before, but like I don't know, I just like never like paid attention. I don't know until like then, and I was like, oh my god, like it got me really excited to see how it goes. But yeah, I agree. I don't think that the movie's gonna be that great, but I'm very excited for the music.
I will say,
especially because it's touching a movie close to you.
Both of us. I mean,
and see, that's that too. Like I have such little faith in it because, like, what you felt with like Mulan and stuff.
Oh yeah,
mine was Alice in Wonderland. Like, and this was like 10 years ago.
Alice in Wonderland.
The way I felt about The Lion King and just like feeling utterly destroyed after the movie, like I felt like a part of my soul died that day after I came out of the movie theater. of The Lion King. Like honestly, that was such a huge freaking
because like think about it too. Like Tim Burton was directing this movie. Like I was, at that time, Tim Burton was like a god to me. So
that was the beginning of the end.
That was just like the biggest disappointment of the decade.
Until Maleficent?
No, I think Alice was way worse. Well, no, okay, Maleficent was, but Alice had like Tim Burton, like, that was top for me.
Right.
So I don't know. And like this one has Alan Menken and Lin-Manuel, and all of the cast is amazing. I don't know. It like stresses me out. So I just try not to think about it.
Like I wonder, like I obviously Davy Diggs doing Sebastian. I think that's gonna be incredible. Aquafina as Scuttle, that's gonna be hilarious.
I really I really hope that Melissa McCarthy is able to pull this off, and I think she can.
Oh yeah,
I think she can, and I think she will. I just hope, because I've always had a soft spot for her, and I feel like she's had such a I don't know why she makes those horrible movies with her husband. They're just they're the epitome of trash, according to like everybody. They make no money these days. But I feel like her name has been dragged through the mud because of this casting, and I kind of want her to like prove people wrong, because I think she's a great actor in her own right.
Yeah, I think she's great. I just am 100% in agreement with the people that say that this should have been a trans woman.
Oh. Well, yeah. I mean, yeah, you have options there too, don't you? Yeah.
Like this was, if any, like this was the casting for that one.
That's true.
They did not.
Yeah. I mean, like that it should have went to a trans woman, on it, because like Ursula herself was based on.
Like,
yeah. Like I don't know. Like
well, we know why. China. They want to release it in China, not just China, but I mean like that came out wrong. Excuse me. China, alongside other major continents that make up the international market of the box office, right, have like Russia, and there's another big one, are not very friendly toward LGBT actors, or
they're very homophobic, transphobic.
Yeah, like remember what happened earlier this year? A lot of these countries cut out.
Okay, see, this is counter argument. Aren't they that way with African American actors? And
they are, but not as bad. They are, in some cases, it is bad, but not as bad. It's different levels of bad all around. And Disney's like they want to make their money, and they don't want to rock the boat too much. So like they pick their battle. Remember earlier this year in Onward, they cut out the sequence with one of the police officers mentions her girlfriend, and that was cut out in a lot of countries.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
So if that was like taboo enough for like other countries, like picture how like having something prominent, like a prominent character in your movie played by a trans woman. But you know
what I think is actually going to be that a lot of these places are going to be okay with, and in this case, it's actually kind of sickening. Remember, in the Jungle Cruise, Jack Whitehall, British comedian, is playing apparently the first out and proud gay character. This was announced, and apparently he's going to be like overtly flamboyant, and that is going to reinforce a very negative stereotype. But it might be okay with some of these places that may actually be interested in this negative stereotype being reinforced.
Yeah. It's a double-edged sword. Yeah. Somebody's going to get stabbed no matter what. I mean, it's just not, it's not going to bode well for any party. Yeah, but honestly, Disney should have had the balls to begin with, which nowadays they're lacking. So yeah. Anything else for live action? This is bumming me out.
Oh, are you sure you want to keep going?
No, I think that's it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Which department do you want to go to? Do you want to do animation?
Let's do it. That one's gonna be fun.
Okay, so let's go back. Okay, so Jennifer Lee, aka Queen, came out. And she laid it down for us. First of all, there's gonna be a Baymax TV show coming to Disney Plus.
I'm already done with this.
Okay, tell us why, Moreno.
I love. Listen, those of you who do not watch Big Hero 6, the series, Tangled, the series, aka you guys, I am not fond of you. These shows are so good, and I feel like them doing that and announcing it in like such a big way is kind of like not like turning their backs on these shows, but just, I don't know, making them
hindering the importance of them.
Yes, and I don't know. I have a genuine love for these shows, and I think they're great, and I think more people should watch them. Yeah.
Yeah. Go ahead, Kyle. You can finish what you were saying. The announcement, and we'll get to that.
Yeah, when I heard that they're going to San Francisco, and I was like,
didn't we already do this?
That's Disney in a nutshell.
Haven't we been down this road before? And not even too long ago, but like quite recently, and the show is still going. Like, what the fuck is going on here? Yeah, so I thought it was like, I felt like I was taking stupid pills.
Especially since they said that Baymax is going to take place right after the events of Big Hero 6.
Yeah, so I was just like, what the fuck are we doing here, Disney? So
that's what
Baymax the series makes.
Unless maybe it's it I don't know. Maybe it takes place at the same time as the show, but this is just focused on Baymax.
Like his perspective, like fucking Lion King 1.5, this bullshit. I don't know. It's a bad idea. I don't like it. Alexis?
I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea. I think this is exactly the kind of content that they need. But I'm not terribly excited for it. I'll catch it, and I'm sure it'll be good. But
no, like I'm not saying it's a.
I just don't have a bone to pick because I haven't seen Big Hero 6 the series. But if I did, I probably would. Therefore, you have Alexis.
My thing is just why not continue that show instead of just making a new one? The first one was already good.
Yeah, that's Baymax. So we're gonna get a show that's going into Zootopia called Zootopia Plus. And it's gonna be focusing on like such shows like Prance Revolution and all that stuff. There's also gonna be you're also gonna get a first look at the underground racing circuit with the I forget his name. Dash the sloth from
Dash, isn't it Flash or Dash?
It's Flash. Dash is the Incredibles.
Oh, Dash is the Incredibles.
Flash,
okay.
100 yards.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Dash, yeah. Okay, Flash, yes. And so you're gonna get into the racing circuit.
Where is that show? The Incredibles animated series. You think that would be amazing? They set it up in The Incredibles too. Where's that show?
Again, like we're making better ideas than okay. Thoughts on this one? I think
this is fine. I'm not opposed to this, but I'm also not terribly excited. I think I would have preferred a Zootopia series sticking with Judy and with Nick. and then exploring all the different parts of Zootopia and therefore on. I that is something I'm much more in favor of. I'm hoping we can get that at some point. This seems to be like a series of like shorts based off on like off characters here and there, which is fine. It's content, but it's not something I'm going to be jumping up and down for.
It's not prime content. Yeah.
I'm excited for this one.
The next one, I'm excited for this one. Tiana, the series.
I lost my shit.
I think
this is like if there was a top 5 of things I was excited about, this was in there. We've all said how much we love the Princess and the Frog, and we love the Tiana character, and we all expressed, our joy and adulation earlier when they announced that she would be taking over Splash Mountain. When that happens, I don't know. But that's going to happen. And I think this is actually really encouraging to see them, try and revive this character in this franchise, considering, as we've discussed, how not overly impressive, shall we say, the box office was a little over 10 years ago for this movie. And so I think they're recognized that this character is having some kind of a revival, and I'm all for it. They call this a long form musical comedy series. I'm all there. I want this.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be incredible. I wonder if they're going to get Randy Newman to write the music.
Oh my god,
that would be amazing.
This is like the only thing that I saw before work, and my friend who like loves Tiana is like her Alice. I showed her this and she almost cried. It was amazing.
And it's good. Honestly, like, I think that Princess and the Frog is severely underrepresented in the company. So I think that Tiana getting a boost up, I think is
and
much
honestly,
needed.
They didn't say one way or the other, but when they went to Tiana, it seemed as if they're going to stay with 2D animation. That hasn't been confirmed.
Honestly, you guys need to watch the Tangled series. Oh my god. If you...
One of these days, Alexis.
My god. And I'm only saying because that show is so good.
We don't doubt what you're saying.
It's going to be half as good as this. Like, oh my god.
Okay. By the way, her fellow friends like Louie and Naveen are going to be in it as well. So, we're also going to continue Moana's journey. I almost lost my shit that we're getting more Moana content, because holy crap, it feels very validating to me.
I told you she was popular. I mean, and I think the reason why is because Moana has consistently been in the trending chart for Disney Plus the entire time. She's a very popular character. That's a very popular movie. Considering that it wasn't overly impressive, the box office returns, but it must have made an impression at home because that is very popular.
Pua.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my god, yeah. Pua all day, every day for people.
But anyway, it's gonna continue on with her wayfinding and traveling and being voyagers, and it's pretty much gonna be that, just her on her voyages. And honestly, I'm excited for that. Bring back Dwayne The Rock, bring back Ali, just do all that shit. I think it'll be good. It'll be fun. I think it's gonna be in 3D, much akin to what the its predecessor is. So we're looking forward to that. You guys have any thoughts about that?
I'm excited.
Yeah.
Okay. For Pixar, there's gonna be a show, a mini series called Doug Days. focusing on Doug the dog from Alexis Moreno's favorite Pixar movie, Up.
Forgot to add a word in there. Your least favorite Pixar movie.
It's a joke. It's a bit. So yeah, that's gonna be happening. They released another look at Soul, which for those who don't know, Disney Pixar's Soul is being released on Disney Plus Christmas Day, free of charge, no, except for your subscription. So that's gonna be happening. What else? Oh, there's gonna be a movie called Big Red. And it's going to be about a girl named May, and every time she gets nervous, she turns into a red panda. Yeah, the look you're giving me is as good as mine. There's going to be a show, a Cars road trip show with Lightning McQueen and Mater going across the country. Like, we haven't gotten that before.
That was literally the last movie, wasn't it?
The last two movies.
Well, yeah, I guess. The last one was a spy movie, though.
Yeah. I mean, some would even question that movie's existence, too.
And yet it also ranked pretty high among a panelist here in the Red Spotlight family.
Let's not dig up the past, shall we? There's a movie gonna come out, and it's called Luca, and it's an original Italian set film about two friends.
I'm excited. The way that they showed like the artwork for this movie is beautiful. And
yeah,
it makes me quite excited.
What?
Oh, did I mention Encanto?
No, you didn't mention that one, no.
Okay.
That's Disney Animation, right? And you forgot also Iwaju. Remember Iwaju? Did this really go over your head? Because this was actually one of the things I was really excited about. It's an original property that they're collaborating with a different animation studio.
Oh, yeah, it went over my head. Tell us about that.
Well, I'll have to look for the details because I need to go read it, what this is. So talk about Encanto.
Okay.
Okay, so it's going to be about magic. It's going to be about a person finding the magic within her community in Latin America. And the music is going to be written by Lin-Manuel Miranda. It's going to be very interesting. I'm intrigued with this property.
I'm very excited. They actually announced this one like a while ago. I think it's been like a year or so. But I don't know. The little like glimpse of the movie that they gave us, I fucking love it. I'm so excited.
No, look,
it looked really gorgeous.
This is the part where I think, as someone who is beginning to get a little bit tired with all of the IPs and brands, the original stuff coming out of both Pixar and Disney Animation is the stuff that I think where it really shines. I love the concepts and I love the looks that we're getting from all of these new original movies across the board. When it comes to Encanto, the premise is up my alley entirely. Raya looks sensational. Then also Luca. I don't know what the fuck that's about, but it looks so beautiful.
I love that they look the same but different. Like
there's a different feel for them.
Because obviously like not bashing, the Renaissance era at all, because that's like our childhood, but they all look the same, and these movies, they look the same, but they look like they all belong in different worlds, whereas in the Renaissance era I feel like they all belong in the same world.
That's true. And there's also different kinds of animation at display too. When I just sent over 2 still images with Iwaju of Alexis, if you want to take a look at that on your phone. And I'm going to describe what this is. And that this is actually one of the things that I'm most interested in. This is, as it's described by Disney Animation, in a first-of-its-kind collaboration, Disney Animation and Pan-African entertainment company Kugali will team up to create an all-new science fiction series coming to Disney Plus in 2022, Iwaju. And there was concept art released from it, and it looks amazing. I'm all for this.
Yeah.
And this is I believe it's a series, yeah.
And this is also like why I think cuz obviously yes, I completely agree. I think that the live action movies are not good. But this, like, we're seeing the outcome of that with these things. You know what I'm talking about? So, I don't know. I do feel bad talking about them all the time. But, like, obviously, like, they had a plan in mind. And those movies will always be money makers. And because of them, we are seeing this now. So...
Okay, and then going back to the stuff that, because Kyle listed off a whole bunch of Pixar stuff. I cut out. What happened? What'd I miss? Did I miss something? Hello?
Nothing. No.
All I heard was you guys laugh.
No, we just laughed at you just like, okay. No, we were laughing at like your reaction. You're just like, okay.
All right. Well, I was gonna go back. I was gonna go back to the Pixar stuff that you were talking about, right? And I saw the trailer or the little sneak peek for Doug Days.
Yeah, it looked adorable. I'm a dog person, and just like, I love Doug. Doug reminds me of one of my dogs, so like it's more closer to home. And I loved it. It's very cute and adorable.
Yeah, and it's also by Bob Peterson, who did Forky Asks a Question, and I really enjoyed that series.
Yeah, and I'm excited. I'm excited for that shit. Anyway. Where else do you want to guys go to? Do you guys want to talk about Marvel next, or do you guys?
We weren't. I wasn't. There was. Wasn't there something else with Pixar that you mentioned? Oh, they had an extra look at Soul, right?
Yeah.
No, that was.
And it was a scene of. Yeah, it was a scene of him teaching the class about. Oh, he disappeared. Alexis Soto disappeared off the face of the earth, everyone. That's how this news has been affecting him. He just dropped off the face of the earth. Went completely beyond. But anyway, so that scene that we saw was him teaching the class about like jazz and all that stuff, and he was just like saying, okay, take it from the top, go into this node, and then he's like, oh, I see you on their phone, and all the rest of the class is completely disinterested in what's going on, except for one kid who was just like doing her own little thing and like a solo, and he's like, yes, do that, and everybody was just laughing, and he's like, no, you can't do that. And like the passion of music, like that's the thing that gets me excited. It's just like, it's discussion of the passion of music that gets us going. And I'm like, yes, give me this shit. Like, because he's like, I remember going to a jazz club for the first time, and him seeing like, I see a guy completely disappear within his own piano, just playing this chord right here, but then he takes it to another level when he goes into the high note, and just like that just that feeling alone about music is just it blows me away, because I know that feeling. I know that feeling, like seeing your first rock concert, seeing, getting involved with music, actually learning an instrument. And that actually like gets me intrigued about like the concept more about soul. Because I've been saying completely, I guess, sober or like completely oblivious other than that first trailer that came out. But I've been staying completely clean from this movie, and just seeing that little bit gets me that much more excited.
I can't wait for this movie. I literally can't wait for this movie. I the minute I saw that, I was incredibly moved and into the movie. I wanted it now. I needed it injected into my veins. Like I need that movie. That feels like a movie that I need to watch right now because of where we are right now. Don't forget, before we move off Pixar, there was Lightyear.
Oh yeah, Lightyear. Okay, so it's gonna be a doozy to kind of explain.
Oh my god.
So it's based off Buzz Lightyear, but not the toy Buzz Lightyear, the real Buzz Lightyear, in which the toy Buzz Lightyear was based on in the movies. And it's gonna be an origin story of how he became the famous space ranger that we come to know of legends. It's gonna be Buzz Lightyear is gonna be voiced by Chris Evans, which is interesting.
Sorry.
Wait, what did she say?
And that's pretty much it.
What did you say, Alexis?
Nothing.
But anyway, Chris Evans is playing Buzz Lightyear. Weird, right? So, this is a movie that's happening. What do you guys think of the concept, first of all?
Sidestepping the annoyance of this already having been made decades ago with the Buzz Lightyear animated series, and I do Buzz
Lightyear Star Command.
From what I recall, that was pretty good as well. The still image they released looked gorgeous. I'm not opposed to the idea of this being a movie. I'm not necessarily excited about it, but I think it'll be good. I think this is something that they seem really excited to make. It also happens to be basically it's not Toy Story 5, obviously, in the continuity, but it pretty much will act like that.
It's a very creative way of kind of expanding Toy Story.
In a way,
I guess.
yeah. I guess to me, I'm not opposed to the project, but what I am opposed to is the fucking discourse when that movie drops and reviews saying it's better than Toy Story 4 or Toy Story 3, whatever.
Yes.
That's going to be so fucking annoying. I can already see it happen. But aside from that, Chris Evans as Buzz Lightyear. I mean, Chris Evans is anything, I'm there. I don't care. I don't care. I'm there. So like,
that's insulting.
yeah.
That's a hard sell.
It's a hard buy. An emphasis on all those different
hard
words.
buy.
And yeah, but yeah, it looks so. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm interested. Like the concept kind of confuses me because we've already been down this route.
And yet,
before.
Didn't we just have this discussion with the Cars animated series they announced, and then also with Big Hero 6? Like they clearly don't care about that.
But here's the thing: like it'll lead to like interesting, like a different take on that. Which I'm very excited about. I make like that still image. Yeah, what you said, fucking gorgeous. Like the different interpretation of Buzz Lightyear, I think is gonna be, freaking amazing. And plus, you got freaking Captain America voicing the greatest space ranger. What's not to love? Also, the further we distance, Buzz Lightyear from Tim Allen, I think that is also another bonus.
Damn.
So yeah, we have that. Like this year. Oh, by the way, I tried watching the Santa Claus, and I love that movie. That's like one of my favorite Christmas movies. Just watching Tim Allen, like this movie was pissing me off.
Well, Tim Allen was in a bunch of Disney movies, not just that. It was a Shaggy Dog remake that he was in too.
Yeah.
I wonder. Yeah.
You know who was in that movie? Robert Downey Jr.
That was weird too. I really wonder if they had thought of this idea to compensate for, how little he was used in Toy Story 4. Because, I mean, it was a Woody movie, right? So, like, Buzz was basically just there playing the supporting fiddle and not really having an arc of his own, I guess.
Yeah, I was very upset.
In a way, Alexis, this is for you, since you're the Buzz Lightyear fan here.
Yeah.
Buzz Lightyear to the rescue, am I right? So yeah, that's pretty much Pixar, right?
They also announced like they're doing like shorts on a whole different range of characters. I saw Dory in there, so that got my attention, and then I forgot about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be like
yeah, those are shorts.
Really.
Like I would say 10 minutes, if that. Like the Olaf thing that just dropped.
It's gonna be a Quibi. Way to date this podcast.
You know what was
episode,
strange?
right?
We heard nothing about Monsters at Work. Wasn't that already like almost done?
Yeah. That's very upsetting.
That's weird.
Does that mean that it's not happening?
The scrapped project.
Literally, like, that's like, that was one of the, like, things that they announced when they first did Disney Plus. Lizzie McGuire. What is happening?
It's Bob Chapek. Ask him.
But I was under the impression they were already almost done with that show.
I was too.
Apparently not, or it's not going to happen, and they're just quietly
Where
sweeping it under the rug.
Quietly just being like, maybe people will forget about it.
I just can't get over the Incredibles are like, it made $1 billion. The Incredibles 2, it is such. I think it may have been. I don't know. I just feel like that's an easy to make animated show that would be beyond popular. Where is that? That's it with Pixar.
Yeah. So Pixar. That's all the stuff at Pixar. Let's talk Marvel. and then we'll get to Star Wars. First of all, let's discuss. So, for Marvel, Miss Marvel is joining Captain Marvel in Captain Marvel 2. Also, they released a sizzle reel for Miss Marvel as well. Did you guys watch that? Alexis, Soto, did you watch that?
I don't remember. I think I must have, but I don't remember what the...
Because you were watching it
but I don't remember that portion at all. Unless...
Social distance... social distantly.
I was in my home. He was in his home. We weren't.
Yeah, but we're watching it at the same time. Let's see what else. Oh, a Secret Invasion show is happening with Samuel L. Jackson returning as Nick Fury and Ben Mendelsohn as what's his fucking name? Talos. Yeah, that's happening. Thoughts on that before we move on? I mean, we've already kind of discussed it. Alexis, Moreno, do you have anything to say about it?
No, I didn't watch it.
This out of anything Marvel that you're going to say, this is aside from one other thing, but this is actually near the top of my list of things that I am actually excited about. I think I think this is going to be the concept of this. I think is going to be a great TV show. I love Nick Fury and I love Talos. The Secret Invasion with the Skrulls, I'm all for that. And let me say this. Kevin Feige, if you can bring back Charlie Cox for some rinky-dink cameo in Spider-Man 3, you can bring back Chloe Bennett as Quake for this show. I'm just telling you that right now. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But I can say that that's what should happen, considering that you're going to make exceptions now when you're playing fast and loose with what this whatever. You can do that.
Why stop at Chloe Bennett? Reunite.
Clark Gregg, yeah.
Clark Gregg with
And
Sam
you already
Jackson.
have Ming Na
I mean,
Wen on
come
the
on.
payroll. She's doing practically every Disney show at this point. So like, what are you doing? This is basically in many ways the spiritual successor to Shield. It's going to be a really like spy thriller kind of thing, which is up my alley. So this is the one that I'm most excited about out of anything for a TV show potential that you're going to say.
Yeah. There's going to be a War Machine show called Armored Wars. It's going to be really interesting, I think. Just to see, like, you know, the concept, like, what if, you know, Tony Stark's worst fear came to happen? What if people did, you know, get a hold of his technology? I think that we've seen glimpses of it, but it fully realized, I think that's going to be conceptually. I'm not saying the execution is going to be
I know that if Peter were with us right now, he would be screaming at all of us and at Marvel too, and he would be saying like, why does everything in the Marvel universe have to go back to Tony Stark? I'm telling you, that's what he would say right now. And I gotta say, this is, kind of a little annoying. Like, we need to move beyond that. That's kind of my issue with the MCU, is that they have an inability to move beyond this. And that's why this multiverse thing, for how exciting and how fun and entertaining I'm sure it will be when we see Spider-Man 3 and Multiverse of Madness, I am at the point where I just want to move beyond these things and explore some new territory altogether. And conceptually, these sound all right. In practice, we'll see how it is. But for a lot of these Marvel shows, they range from all right, maybe, sure, yeah.
What if they bring back Agent Carter?
Well, What If is actually one of the
they are.
No,
they are
but it's
bringing
not the
Agent
same.
Carter. I know. What If is
the trailer
interesting, visually
the trailer
interesting.
dropped. The concept's whatever. It's been done before, but the animation was beautiful, and it's an interesting style of animation too. So I'm all for that. Jeffrey Wright is gonna make an amazing narrator. I already heard it over the trailer, so that one actually looks pretty cool. I'll catch that.
Yeah. What else? Oh, they debuted the trailer for Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I had two very different reactions to that. When I first saw it, I was like, okay, this is interesting. And then the second time I saw it, I was like, all right, but it's about what I expected. What's interesting is that Kevin Feige referred to it as a movie separated into 6 parts. I guess that's the same thing with all the other ones like Hawkeye and Loki and WandaVision, because from what I understand, they're all going to have 6 episodes, right? Each of those TV shows. I like the character of Sam Wilson and Bucky. Yeah,
Bucky Barnes.
I'll catch it. Although I'm not sure of the trailers that we were shown of the upcoming Marvel shows. I don't think this held up as well as something like Loki or WandaVision. I'll say this. I'm continually interested in WandaVision so long as, and we've had that conversation, we'll see how that turns out. But the Loki trailer was actually kind of surprising to me. I had written off that as like something I did not care about. Maybe it's Tom Hiddleston and maybe that role is just too irresistible. But I don't know, that actually seems kind of fun.
I'm most excited for Loki that I've always been. Tom Hiddleston reasons, but I mean, regardless, I just think Loki is a good character. And I feel like you could do so much with him because he is that kind of he's in that in between where like he's good but he's bad, but he could be good, but you know what I mean. So I feel like there could be a lot of like character moments with him.
He hasn't had the Thor: The Dark World arc happen to him yet.
Yeah, and when I saw the trailer, I mean, you guys saw me right now. I don't know if you were paying attention, but yeah, like that moment that they showed that it's gonna be like when he took the Tesseract during Avengers and all that stuff. I was like, wait, what? So I don't know. I'm kind of excited for this one. I didn't watch the Winter Soldier one, so I'll watch that afterwards. I'm excited about it, but like just because I don't know.
How do you think?
And then
go ahead, Alexis. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I'm sorry. And then WandaVision. We'll see.
See, the thing is, I like the weirdness of WandaVision. I would want most of WandaVision to be that way. You know, the least interesting thing to me is like run of the mill, straight for the middle, milquetoast, MCU. We've done this a million times already. Let's do it again. That's the least interesting part to me about it. All the wackiness going on with WandaVision, that's the stuff that I would hope would make a great show. But as we've seen in the past, they do this where like they dangle a little thing in front of you of how weird it could be, but then like by episode 2, it goes back to being the same thing that it always has been. So while some people may be like, I don't know, WandaVision looks weird, no, that's what I want. I want more of that in these properties.
No, I like that aspect that it's weird. I just don't understand what's going on. So that is what is kind of making me like, I don't know how I feel about this, because if I don't know what's going on or have some clue of what's going on, then I can't have like an opinion of it. Like, you know what I mean?
Well, we'll find out pretty soon. It's coming out next month.
Yeah. So we'll see.
Just interesting. Yeah, we have all that. Oh, also, James Gunn is making a holiday special for Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's gonna film the holiday special along when he's making a volume 3.
That's the disappointing part,
which is
supposedly we're getting that in 2023, which, God, that would be 9 years after the original movie came out. That's so crazy to think. And James Gunn is in a weird situation right now because like he's doing the Suicide Squad movie, which I guess it's going to go to streaming, and he's not happy about that. And apparently he's also attached to this John Cena spinoff with the
on
but who
HBO
knows
Max
anymore, considering that he's not happy with what WB did. That's a whole thing going on. But this idea of a Guardians of the Galaxy holiday special is heaven. Yes, that's what I want. This is going to be great.
It's going to be so funny. It's going to be full of antics, and the I would imagine the entire cast is going to be in
I wonder if it includes Chris
Hemsworth.
Hemsworth.
Do funny wacky who knows?
Oh my God, I would love. Oh my God, can you imagine Thor like with the concept of Christmas, like?
And also keep in mind, because I'm not sure if it was announced, but it has been reported that like the Guardians, I know that Star-Lord, Rocket, and Groot are supposed to have substantial supporting roles in the upcoming Thor: Love and Thunder. So.
Yeah, and also speaking of that, it was confirmed that Christian Bale will be playing Gore, the God Butcher, in the show, in the movie. Sorry, we've
in
been
Thor:
saying
Love and
show
Thunder
so many times. It's like
yeah.
So that's gonna be happening. Speaking of happening, Black Panther 2 is in fact indeed still happening, and they're not going to be recasting the role of T'Challa due to the unfortunate circumstance of Chadwick Boseman's passing. So that's gonna do you think, like, who's gonna be Black Panther then? Do you think it's gonna be Shuri, or do you think it's gonna be Okoye? It's going to be Shuri, right?
Yeah.
I think it has to be, because I don't know how else you can do it without it feeling so contrived and forced. And this is kind of a lot of movies sometimes never bounce back after the star dies because they're so important or integral that the whole thing kind of has to be rewritten. And poor Ryan Coogler. I think I read that the thing was done. They had the script for Black Panther 2, and then this tragedy happened where Chadwick Boseman passed away, and now he's currently rewriting the whole thing. And I think Shuri makes the most sense, and I think that's why Letitia Wright deleted Twitter for her own good before things got worse for her. Not that, I don't want to get on her or anything, but social media, and that's just a bad thing altogether. So good for her to get off of that and to make sure that this project is salvageable when that comes out in 2022.
Yeah. Moreno, any thoughts about that, or just like ditto?
Yep.
Okay. And also, finally, confirmed. Also there's gonna be another Ant-Man and the Wasp thing.
Hey.
Fuck. Yeah. But director of Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home, John Watts, not Peyton Reed. John Watts is bringing Marvel's first family home, and it's gonna be the Fantastic Four. And my lid was blew up. I'm like, they pulled the trigger. They fucking did it. The Fantastic Four is finally happening within the MCU, and I was like, finally. I've been wanting this since day one. Like, holy shit, it took almost 20 years, but okay, we're getting it. So Fantastic Four is happening, and I'm excited.
There's a couple of things about this that's occurring to me. I've said for a long time that I've heard from people that Peyton Reed had been lobbying for years to Kevin Feige to direct Fantastic Four. And thank God he lost that battle. Because if Peyton Reed had, because I mean, he's just very bland and, it's just doesn't do anything memorable. And I think that would have, if he had been announced as the director of Fantastic Four, it would have been a lost cause. John Watts, I think with Homecoming and Far From Home, has proven himself enough that we know that this won't be a botched up result. But here's another idea, or here's another thought here. So John Watts, who is currently filming Spider-Man 3, right? What happens with that? Then is that confirmation that this upcoming Spider-Man movie is the last one and the last solo Spider-Man movie? If you can even call it that, considering what we hear. But anyway, is this the last solo Spider-Man movie for the MCU? Because Watts has been on.
I honestly, I think so, just because I feel like they're really ending it with the bang.
They're throwing everything at it, so it's like, the more you think about it, this may be the last, at least the last one, and then Tom Holland continues with whatever Sony does, if that, or maybe this is the last one.
I think, okay, hear me out. Here's what I think was going to happen in this movie, okay? You're going to have all this chaos already. I mean, already it's confirmed that Kirsten Dunst is coming back as...
Everybody's coming back.
Mary Jane Watson. Yeah, everybody but the kitchen sink is coming back. No, fuck that. The kitchen sink is coming back as well. But I think what's going to happen is, amongst the chaos, this new kid is going to come up, and his name's going to be Miles Morales. And I think that's what's going to happen with Spider-Man 3, and I think they're going to introduce that character, and then they're going to shift the focus to Miles Morales.
With Sony, you mean?
That's kind of like a punch in the face to Tom Holland.
And in so many different ways, right? Because you have the former Spider-Man coming back, and he can't even have his own movie anymore, and then you have handing it off to the next one. I guess what I'm not clear on entirely is if this is Tom Holland's last movie, or if Sony plans to keep him. What they could do is, at the end of Spider-Man 3, when they close the multiverse, Tom Holland ends up in a different universe than the MCU, and then they just continue with solo movies on Sony's side.
which would kind of suck.
But it seems like this is the plan, right? This is what they agreed with, because the only other thing is this. This isn't scheduled to be Tom Holland's last appearance in the MCU. From what I recall in the negotiations, it was one additional Spider-Man solo movie and then an appearance.
And a following Avenger
confirmed
movie.
Avengers? Interesting.
Yeah.
Do you think he'll be in the Multiverse of Madness? Because that movie is going to tie in directly with Spider-Man 3.
Most likely. That makes the most sense.
And that could be the last.
Because if you try to think about the other ones, like, I don't know about that.
Or maybe like a post-credits thing where he's like, hey, Doctor Strange, I need help. Come help me in this next movie.
I don't know. If I were to guess right now, I think that's the likeliest thing where they wrap up Tom Holland through Spider-Man 3, Multiverse of Madness, and then he ends up on the other side of Sony, I guess, and then they continue from there on out. That may be what they're thinking of doing. And if you look at where all this is coming from, it may end up going in that direction. And that, yeah.
It's kind of sad because I feel like we just barely got Spider-Man back into the MC, like in the Marvel thick of things.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh well. I guess we'll see what happens.
Yeah, unless another director comes in and takes over the Spider-Man. But like honestly, like I don't know. I hope it doesn't go that way, where it's just like Tom Holland is in a separate, realm of things, because I really like, because his Spider-Man fits most with what's going on in the MCU. Like that vibe makes more sense, than what's going on in Sony with, turd in the wind kind of bullshit. I don't know. Yeah. So guys, are you ready to go to a galaxy far away?
You forgot we mentioned some other things that I didn't really care for. Well, I don't care for She-Hulk or Ironheart or Hawkeye. I don't know if you mentioned Hawkeye, but they confirmed Haley Steinfeld and Tatiana Maslany, which we already suspected for weeks, but I don't really care about those shows.
The Abomination is going to be in She-Hulk, though. I think that's going to be interesting with Tim Roth returning. And also Mark Ruffalo is going to reprise as Bruce Banner. So that's happening. Anyway, let's talk about Star Wars, shall we? I feel like we're gonna start our own civil war here. So, Kathleen Kennedy stepped up to plate. This was like the first presentation of the whole thing, Lucasfilm, and boy, like it started off like strong in terms of like announcements. Quality we'll talk about later, but she started off by saying John and Dave, not Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni. John and Dave are making 2 spin-off shows of The Mandalorian. One is The Rangers of the New Republic and Ahsoka.
That's how she worded that?
She worded it like that.
I'm done.
John? No.
I'm done.
John and Dave are working. That's exactly how she worded it.
That's so upsetting. Whatever.
Yeah. So that's happening. Yeah, Ahsoka, it's gonna take place within the timeline of the Mandalorian and like the Rangers of the New Republic. Who freaking cares? The next one is gonna be a TV show called Andor for Disney Plus. And it's gonna be a spy series with Diego Luna returning as Cassian Andor, and Alan Tudyk is returning as K2SO. And new actors are coming to the Star Wars universe. Oh, by the way, Loki is gonna have Owen Wilson in it. Sidestepping. I hope he's like, wow, you're a god. Oh wow. Yes, give me that. But anyway, Andor is happening, and it's going to be a spy series. They're adding Alexander Skarsgård, and they're also adding Fiona Shaw and Petunia from Harry Potter. So that's going to be a thing. What do you guys think about that?
It looks interesting.
It looks interesting. That's all. That's all you're gonna say. Looks interesting. That's it. Okay.
I feel like. I mean, so far that's the most exciting thing.
Okay. Alexis Soto, you have anything to add?
With which show?
Andor.
Oh, that's the one that you're referring to as exciting? No.
I mean, it's not going off of much, so.
There's, oh God, oh my God, this.
You just like don't know where to
this
start.
this show, and then also the Rangers of the New Republic, and then one other thing that you haven't mentioned yet, all feel like Rogue One Part 2, Part 3, Part 4.
And the prequel of Rogue One.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I don't understand what the reason is. It looks cool, like visually. I won't say story-wise because as we have seen. I don't know. Okay. It is what it is.
It's gonna be 12 episodes long, guys.
It's gonna be longer than the Mandalorian. They're dead. They fucking die. Like, what else do you need to know?
Oh my gosh. Okay. The next thing that we have on the plate is that Hayden Christensen will be joining Ewan McGregor in Star Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That just makes me upset because then that means that they won't go the route of like what we had talked about before with like Satine and kind of exploring that part and the witch cult sister thing. I don't know.
The Sisterhood of Karn. I'm just kidding. That's a Doctor Who thing. Yeah. Also, to quote Kathleen Kennedy, this will be the rematch of the century.
I love Alexis's reaction. Oh my God. Yes. That's exactly how you should react.
We know what happens. What are you talking about? We already saw what happens. Oh,
but you know what that means? That
God.
confirms the rematch of a century. She's practically teasing a lightsaber battle between Obi-Wan and Darth Vader, which isn't that what you, Kyle? Isn't that what that's the one thing you said you didn't want to do?
Yeah, because the next time they should meet is A New Hope.
Oh my God. Why? Also, see, this is, again, going back to the whole, I don't understand why this is happening. And they should have done what we had talked about, because we already got with Mom. Like, that's already settled. We already got the thing with Darth Vader. That's already settled. What is happening?
What's happening is that Star Wars fans want to see cool lightsaber action with Darth Vader looking cool and awesome-y and badass, and that's what we're gonna get. That's what's happening.
And fuck the story, right?
At the expense of the story, basically.
Oh my god.
But props to Deborah Chow, a woman leading this show and a woman of color leading this show. So hey, there's that. Kathy is finally hiring some actual females to run a show. So there's that after 5 years.
Wow. Also,
so
they
Kyle,
released
do you hate this?
A trailer
just real quick, do you hate this, Obi? Okay.
Oh yeah, 100%.
See, and this is what is that's also upsetting too, because I was genuinely like excited for the show.
That just plummeted.
But now, if that's the way that they're doing it, I already got it. So why am I watching this?
Yeah, and like better formats, because like basically when the episode Twin Suns came out in Star Wars Rebels, I'm like, well, there goes the Kenobi show that they were talking about. Like honestly, I think they took too long to make the show.
Way too long.
Yeah. So that's that. I'm not happy about I mean, it looks cool. I mean, the concept is cool. Star Wars spy series with Andor. But again, like in terms of like character development, what else is there to say? We saw the very end of the character development.
Yeah, like,
I mean, like it's kind of like
we already got all of this. Give me something new. We know what happens with these characters. We don't need to know anything else. This was literally a plot hole that was fixed. We don't need anything else. I don't understand.
Yeah.
And like, yes, like these characters were cool and stuff. Like whatever we saw, even though it was very little and it could have been a little bit better. Like, we don't need to see anything else.
Yeah, same. But the Bad Batch, we got a trailer for Bad Batch.
Oh, don't.
Okay, all right, Moreno, I want to know your grievances with this.
It just makes me so upset because this looks so good, and this is what we should get more of. The first shot. Or, I don't even know, like, I didn't even finish the whole thing because I was getting so mad. It looks beautiful.
It does look beautiful.
This is so sad.
It look like, Alexis, you're completely right. It does look fucking hella expensive. Like, the animation is fucking crisp. Also, it looks like it's also taking place around when episode 3 happened. Like, because we saw, like, his, like, big speech that he gave to the...
Yeah, that's why I was like, wait, what? I got, like, a little confused for a second, but then I was like, oh, wait. Duh. Yeah,
because, like, right after their thing, Ahsoka went to go do her thing.
Mm-hmm.
So you could definitely see where, you know, that's happening. But goddamn, like, it looked fucking stellar. Like, that animation was so crisp. Dare I say it, like, almost kind of better than what we got with the series finale in Clone Wars. I mean, the Clone Wars finale was gorgeous, but like the color grading and like the lighting is just fucking
you can tell
crisp.
The difference of like the last 4 episodes versus the whole season, whereas this, I mean, I don't know, we only got like a little bit of it, but it looks like the whole show is gonna be that way.
Yeah, and to be clear, this is
which is also another big.
This is the CG animation. CG is a I think animation output that did with the Clone Wars, and is obviously the same animation style with this Bad Batch. Look, I was perhaps the most positive on Bad Batch when it was announced months back, only because not that I was excited about it, but it was like, it's an animation Star Wars show. Odds are I'll like it. Odds are the animation would be beautiful, and I was not prepared for how beautiful that trailer looked. Every single shot of it. And I like the clones. I've always wondered about, the transition from the clone troopers to the stormtroopers, and, what's going to be there. So, and it very much is, if not a continuation, a sequel series to the Clone Wars directly, when it comes to those clone characters. Yeah, I'm with Alexis, and like, this was so beautiful, but it also made me mad at the same time, because why aren't we getting more of this? Like, there's just something to...
And like...
Go ahead, Alexis.
No, yeah. Like, I mean, you kind of you mentioned it a little bit before, like, we don't know... Like, we know these characters, but we don't know their story. And there's actually something to explore there. Why isn't that happening with everything else? Why do we have to go back to these same characters that we already know what happens? I don't understand.
Well, to me, the biggest frustration about, and this goes back into the Ahsoka TV show that was announced.
Oh my god.
The number one project that I was looking forward to was the one that was going to include Ahsoka and Sabine looking for Ezra and Thrawn in the unknown regions. And that it was going to be the direct follow-up series to Star Wars Rebels in animation. Yes. That is going to be the Ahsoka show, and because it is live action, my excitement for that has completely just fallen through the floor. Like, this was a project I was so immensely excited about.
It gets me so upset.
And now I feel like I don't know what it, like, the tone of The Mandalorian just doesn't work for me the same way as the animated shows did. And so, like, I don't know how I'm going to gel with this story, but I don't know. I just feel like this could have been easily better handled with this being an animated show versus this live act, because I feel like you're so limited with live action, honestly, if you're doing Star Wars, because of budget reasons, and with animation you don't have those similar restraints. And I was honestly looking forward to the next chapter of Ahsoka's story, but I guess I'm gonna have to do that with Rosario Dawson and not Ashley Eckstein, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Dude, yes! Oh my god, that's such a slap in the face. That's such a dick move. Like, she went through a lot for this character. And also for the show to be named Ahsoka. Like, what the fuck? I would be so genuinely upset if I was her. And it makes me upset for her. I mean, Grant, she might not feel this way. Maybe she does. But I don't know. Ugh.
Yeah. I think, okay, yeah. I was very trepidatious with the Bad Batch product to begin with, because like I was like, what, I don't need this. But now I see the trailer and I'm like, I need this now. I think the same way with Ahsoka, because like for my Ahsoka, hashtag my Ahsoka is Ashley Eckstein, and the fact that, it is going to be, because I was mostly looking forward to her, continuing, like, much akin to like Alexis Soto was, seeing Sabine, because that would have been a really interesting dynamic to explore, Sabine and Ahsoka together. Like, fuck the Ezra Thrawn plot, like, that part doesn't interest me. I want to see the dynamic between Sabine and Ahsoka, because that right there is interesting. There could be so many different explorations with that. She could, like, because they both of them like have the culture that was completely lost to them, the Jedi Order and the whole original Mandalorian culture was completely robbed from both of them. So that they had like such a kinship that I think would have been interesting to explore, but because of this whole bullshit and Rosario Dawson, which by the way, like I she was phenomenal in that episode as Ahsoka, but like that is not my Ahsoka, it's like
I'm okay with seeing bits and pieces of her like that, but to do the show that we were looking forward to after Rebels was over, like for that to be made that way, I fucking hate it. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I completely hate it too. And it just like, I mean, we'll see nice kick-ass action with Rosario as Ahsoka, but like it's gonna pale in comparison with, because like the thing is that, again, like what Alexis mentioned, live action is very limiting versus like the finale that we got with the Clone Wars. You could not do that in live action because that would have been hella expensive, even with their new projection technology that the Lucasfilm has developed. It's not going to be the same, and you're not going to get that same quality with live action. So that's where it peeves me. And also Obi-Wan Kenobi, that show could go fuck itself as well. However, there's two things that do sound interesting to me. Number one, there's going to be an anime anthology little series called Star Wars Visions, which is going to be focused on like the spiritual side of Star Wars. I'm excited for that. Like it's going to be like like it's done in like anime style, and like it's going to be like 2D animation as well, and I think that would be explosive, and I can't wait. Like I was like, what if we got Star Wars but anime? And I like that concept always like struck him like this, because George Lucas always took Star Wars like concepts from like Kurosawa, Seven Samurai, and all these different movies. Like, why not marry the two concepts together in such a unique way like this? And we're getting that, and I think that is such a unique concept in itself. There's another one that I think is going to be interesting, and it's called The Acolyte, which is going to be exploring the mythology of the dark side, and I think that's really interesting to me because like you're exploring magic, and again, the more spiritual aspects of Star Wars is what gets me interested, not the dog fights and whatever, but like the spiritual aspect of Star Wars has always fascinated me, and I'm getting that.
Kyle,
I don't know about you guys.
So I don't know anything official about this Acolyte series, but I was just I was hearing a bunch of Star Wars bitches, that's what I call them anyway, geek out about this stuff, and where like someone like you might be like, oh, maybe this would be a space where we can get something original out of here. These people were like, well, if it's set at the end of the High Republic, what if this is Darth Plagueis? And I don't know how you feel about that, but that's a possibility, and I could see them doing something with that.
I think because Darth Plagueis is such like an unknown figure in Star Wars, I think that could be that.
Yeah, it hasn't been explored
more
before.
Creative
it hasn't been
liberties,
explored, that's
I
for
think.
sure.
Yeah, other than a passing line from Palpatine in Episode 3, but that's it. So I'm really excited about those two things, Star Wars Visions and Acolyte. There's also gonna right now Taika Waititi is working hard to bring out his feature film, but also it was announced today that Patty Jenkins is doing a Star Wars movie called Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Moreno. Tell me about it, girl.
Let's go back to animation. Oh my god. It's Rogue One Part 2.
Here's the thing, like I beg to differ. Like, you know, I see you and I are I don't think we're seeing the same projects. I see a like kind of Red Tails, kind of, you know, like a war epic in terms of like seeing a bunch of pilots, you know, and that wasn't what Rogue One was. It was them trying to get the Death Star plans and put it, you know, and take it to the rebels. Yeah, they're dead. Most importantly, they're dead, and they should be left dead. But that's not the point here. I'm very interested in like the story that Patty Jenkins said that inspired her for this show, like how she was inspired by her dad, who was in the armed forces and who was a pilot, and just seeing that and living that lifestyle and seeing that lifestyle firsthand. I think that's a very interesting way to like go about like Star Wars, you know, and go into the war aspect, and somebody who's actually experienced like militia firsthand. I think that would be a very interesting perspective, because like face it, George Lucas, not money, not much like, you know, time in the military, and just to have a perspective like that, I think is really interesting. Also, Patty Jenkins is just like perfect for the genre as well. I'm hoping it's an all-female squadron. I think that would be a bonus in the Star Wars storytelling thing. Just a Red Tails female squadron like thing. I think that would be a
what are the odds they include Harris
movie.
and Dula in that movie?
Over.
What are the
okay, what are you talking? Over
or under 50% that Harrison Dula is going to be in a movie called Rogue Squadron, and it's about pilots.
Yeah. Funny enough, there's a video game out right now. It's called Star Wars Squadrons, and right now, Harrison Dula shows up in that game. Oh my God, there's two of them.
What was the game?
I'm happy for Patty Jenkins. I think she's a strong director, and I think she's gonna make a strong movie. And so there's that. I don't know about the concept, as I'm not as married to the concept as other things. I love Taika Waititi. I can't. If anything, I think is going to bring the most exciting Star Wars in the next few years. And I think the most depressing part about all of this is like when you consider like all the stuff we've just talked about, and consider all of the money that's been set aside to make all of these things come to life. Fuck the Star Wars fans for murdering Rian Johnson's trilogy. They fucking murdered it. 'Cause where the fuck is that? It's unforgivable.
But hey, Mandalorian.
One more thing. I ran across this tweet to wrap up the Star Wars thing. Remember when Rian Johnson tried to do something new with Star Wars and made decisions that would take the entire franchise in totally new directions? And then everyone said, lol, shut up, heretic. That's how I feel about Star Wars right now.
Wow. It's quite fitting, like there's fire, there's like a graphic of fire behind you. It's quite fitting. It's, you're like, if you do this, you're like the spitting image of the Helmo.
Oh my god.
So yeah. So that was the Investors Day for the good old House of Mouse. Did you like what you okay, final thoughts before we
I have
off
one
the
thought.
show.
A lot of these movies, Black Widow, Jungle Cruise, Luca, Eternals, Shang-Chi, all of those were given shout outs, and all of them were specified as exclusively theatrical runs. So I think it was an interesting contrast that Disney committed to theatrical releases, considering that just 1 week ago, and it's spilling over into this week, Warner Brothers made a very, very different announcement in how they're going to treat 2021. It says a lot how those two studios see the coming year looking like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm expected to see a lot of delays to all these projects. Yeah. Moreno, anything else you want to say or add?
I will say that I feel a lot of this was maybe very negative, but I am still very excited to see all of these things. Even the Star Wars things. Like, I am upset and I'm angry for reasons that we just expressed, but I still do hope that they prove me wrong, I guess, even if that may not be the case, maybe. But, I still, want to see good things,
Yeah, I mean, it'll be one thing to, wish, I mean, we don't wish bad content at all.
Yeah.
We want good content coming out of this thing, these things. We're investing our time and effort and, let's face it, a podcast time to talk about these things and watch these things and, and it'd be a shame for that to go to waste to bad, bad storytelling, bad, different things, different elements that are involved with that. But that's the thing though, it's either, damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of thing. And we're delving into that kind of territory that you just don't want to, go into. So obviously we want good shit, we want good shit, and yeah, because it's our time that's being wasted if not. So yeah, coming up next on the Fantasy Fair, we have Muppet Month coming to a conclusion finally, with the Muppets and the Muppets Most Wanted. We're going to be doing a twofer in one episode, so keep your ears peeled for that. We're yeah, on the Fantasy Fair we have nothing planned for December.
Well, I'm sure there'll be a Soul review
for that.
I'm sure there'll be a Mandalorian review. Didn't you say that was going to happen?
Yeah, Mandalorian review is coming, but other than that, Moreno gave a look. Well, so yeah, I don't know what's going on in Red Spotlight Entertainment.
You haven't seen an episode. You haven't seen an episode all year long. I'm
planned?
convinced you haven't listened to a single episode all year long. Upside the ones that you're actually in, Kyle, because the things that Peter has been saying about you would have thrown a fit by now. Anyway, we're doing Guillermo del Toro month, so we're going to wrap that up. We're also going to be doing reviews on movies like David Fincher's Mank, and then also the A24 documentary Boys State. And I'm sure we'll wrap the month up with Wonder Woman 1984, Soul, and I'd like to announce more, but considering how everyone's schedules are lining up, I'm not really confident we can do anything big to end the year. I'm hoping, but, that won't likely be the case.
Anyway, stay magical, everyone.